Hey Aries, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. It is May and I have a love reading for you. So what I do here is just a quick romantic reading for you, kind of get an idea of what's going on between you, Aries, and your partner, whoever that person may be, so that whatever this issue is, you kind of got some forewarning rather than no warning at all. I love that phrase because it just makes sense, you know? It's exactly what I do here. It's one of the things that brings me a little bit of joy helping you out, because we all know what it's like to walk into something completely blind. I try to keep these pretty quick, just because I know you have things to do during your day. I got things to do. We all work. We all have to sleep, et cetera, et cetera. But appreciate you taking time out of that day to hear what I have to say. So this will represent your energy in the relationship. And I'm going to draw two more to represent your partner, whoever this person is to you, who is in this issue in your life, this romantic interest. Draw two for them, get their energy. Got a huge difference between the two of you already. And this question is going to be, what is the mutual point? What is, more or less, this question is, what is causing this? Be good, be bad. What is the cause? What is the mutual point of contention? I was saying congestion for the longest time. I couldn't figure out how to say that word right. I don't know what it was. It was nuts. Every once in a while, we just have that moment that completely lapses in our head. So Aries. Let's go over the issue. Let's go over your energy. I'm going to describe the cards for you so you kind of get an idea what they mean. Same with them, same with the us. And then we will get the whole story and you'll know what's going on. Excuse me. All right. Sorry, Aries, for the jump. I had somebody at the door. Okay, so we just started. All right. So describing, you have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is the completion of a cycle. It's the end of a cycle, the end of a situation, more or less the beginning of a new phase of a relationship. As a general description, think of your dating, and you've been dating for a while, days, months, years, whatever, and then you decide to propose. All right, that's the completion of a cycle. That's a big completion. This is a major arcana, major messaging, major energy flows through these. So that is a big change in the relationship. I have a feeling this has to do with something very specific. I'm going to hold you in suspense because I want to make sure. I'm going to tell you what it is anyway, what my original idea was. Sometimes you can kind of glance and really see it, but I want to get the most detail possible for you. Then we have the Magician. The Magician is a really powerful messaging too, because that is somebody who's able to manifest. This is the person who can make things happen. This is the one that if they want to get a job, they're going to go out and get it. If they want to paint the house, guess what? That house is getting painted. This is somebody who has the drive, the motivation, tools, the will, the emotional stability. This is a very, very good message to have going into a situation. And the reason why I'm saying that Like Aries, you're in a good position. You're at the completion of a cycle, which means a new cycle is beginning, and you're going into it with really powerful energy to make things happen. That is the kind of starting energy you want. That's like being prepped and ready for a race. You may not feel it, but you have that energy about you. Even depressed people, even angry people can still get things done. Now the Eight of Wands. This is for our romantic interest here. The Eight of Wands. It's movement. It's fast movement. It's romance. It's the willpower to be romantic. It is the willpower for forward motion, but in a willful way. Excuse me. This is the type of energy for pursuing and beginning a new romantic situation. Could be anything from, going for it the first time, you know what I mean? Like, you walk up to somebody, you want to go for it, get some romance in. That's that type of energy. But strangely enough, they have the Ten of Wands as well. The Ten of Wands is their willpower is burdened. It's overwhelmed. They're feeling constrained. There's something hampering their will to do something, an outside force. So consider them. All right. So here's you. You're at the starting line, and you're ready to go. All right. You're prepped. You're ready to go. This person is like a kid who's ready to go, but they have one of those leash backpacks. I could have used a dog as an example, but there's just nothing about seeing a kid, trying to run and the parents pulling. It's just like, it's such a weird, you don't expect to see that. But that's what we have here. You're free, ready to go. They're ready to go too, but they're being held back. It's interesting. So the point of contention, man, I don't know what it is. It just wants to keep coming into my mind. They have the Six of Wands leading that off. So the messaging for the us here is that Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is victory. It's a power couple. It's a couple who has the will to do things, the will to succeed. It is a power couple. Is that couple that you see where they just radiate power, they radiate success. You can tell when you see them that not only are they happy, not only are they together, they're together moving forward. They're the ones getting it done. That's that power couple that starts a business, just as an example. And then you have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is flirtation, romance. Could also, with that little cup of fish there, it's rather unique for the Page of Cups. Cup of fish can relate to offspring, can relate to starting new life in the form of adding life to your family. Doesn't necessarily have to mean a pregnancy in and of itself. It could also mean adoption or something, bringing new life into the us. Here's what I'm saying, Aries. You and whoever this partner is are trying to move to the next phase of a relationship, but there is burden because this person either isn't ready or something about them isn't ready. they're having an issue processing and moving through these emotions. And the reason why might be, I'm not saying it's your fault, but it might be your confidence has them left behind. You have powerful energy, all right? Ridiculously powerful energy. You're the one leading this new phase. You are the one leading the new phase. So you're the one bringing the change into this for the better. The goal that you have is making that family stronger. You're the one that wants to really boost things into a new level. And they do too. They do. But there's something holding them back, and I need to know what is holding them back from taking Aries' next step. This new phase of the relationship, be it starting, it could be a proposal, but I'm thinking it's more so expanding the family. Nothing screams power couple more than, like parents extending their family in some way. So, the question here, more or less summed up, is why the drama? Why the drama? Why are we overwhelmed? What is going on with our romantic interest? Leading it out is the Two of Swords, which is the refusal of issues. This is a general description. The refusal of issues is just that. There are truths that are right in front of them that they are refusing to see. More than likely, it is because there are old truths that are in their place. And they may even know that those old truths are not truth. Like, real truth is truth. It is what it is. It is legitimately what it is. But when you are talking a truth, as in singling out a truth, truth can be subjective. And I know that sounds so counterintuitive, because truth is truth. But if it is like a factual truth where we breathe air, that's not something that is subjective. That is a truth that is fact. But sometimes people get false truths in their mind. They may say, well, you're 6 foot tall, and you're actually 6'3". The truth that they've believed the whole time was that you're 6 foot tall. But that truth has been replaced when you're standing, at a theme park, and you gotta be this tall to enter. You're standing at one of those and it says 6'3". It's like, oh, that old truth is now not truth, because what they had believed the whole time is no longer the updated information. So it's not always a lie. It is what they have believed is not true. They're struggling to comprehend that. And then they have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is defensiveness, it's boundaries, it's setting up walls, it is using their willpower. They're defending their willpower, they're defending their will to be and do what they want. But then, feminine energy and openness. That Queen of Cups is it's not the same motherly energy as the Empress, who's a major arcana, but I'm telling you, if there's anything that's very close, it's this. This is a message about motherly energy, feminine energy, somebody who, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a feminine entity, because everybody has that balance. Everybody has a balance of masculine and feminine energy. We all do. Some have way more of one, some have way more of the other of that energy, but both do exist. Everybody has a little bit of feminine energy in them. This person is fighting that. This person has doubt in their own ability to do what you're wanting to do. This is that person who, let's say it's a marriage proposal. That could be exactly your individual situation. Let's say it's a marriage proposal. This person might have history with marriage. Maybe their parents have gotten divorced, or maybe their parent has gotten divorced many times and they've went through so many people and they're afraid that they're going to be, one of the step parents that they've had, that they're only going to be in that life for 6 months before they're kicked out the door and they never see, that part of the family again. Just as an example, it could be yours, but as an example, they may feel like they're not ready for it. They're still stuck in, let's say it's the desire to procreate, all right, or adopt, bringing another life into this family. They may not feel like they're ready for the intense burden that is having offspring. It is a burden. It is another life that you now have to care for. They may not feel that they're ready. They may feel like, they know deep down that they are, but their conscious mind is screaming, I want to play, but you can't do that when you got little ones around. When you have other obligations, the self has to be put to the side. Their obligation in a relationship is to you and to their role in the family. Just as your role in the family, you're obligated to that. If there's little ones involved, you're obligated to them. You know this. You know this because your mind's already wrapped around it. You know your role. They don't know theirs. It's an interesting situation. And it's not a bad one. It may seem worse than it is, because this person may genuinely be defensive, potentially combative about it. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want kids. I don't want them. I don't want kids. I'm not ready for that. I don't want them. They just don't understand their own power. It seems more like a question of doubt than it is anything else, honestly. It's doubt. It's a self-imposed confusion of what their will is truly capable of. And in this case, the refusal of issues, that issue is their own ability. That issue that they're refusing is their own deep down desire. They're refusing that. They're preying on their conscious, impulsive desires. That's what's going on here. They want to just live in the moment. But their innate energy as a human knows that the moment is fleeting. The future is going to become the present. So as free-thinking individuals, we have to move past the animalistic nature of now is now. We as free-thinking, intelligent creatures has to know that the future is coming. Would you rather not prepare for it or prepare for it? It's like, you're going to be 80 someday. It's not like you're just going to wake up tomorrow, oh, I'm 80. No, it's going to happen. And you, as a free thinking person, know that it's going to happen. You have perception. You have the ability to comprehend and understand context. So it separates us from the animals. They only live in the now. And that's what they're clinging to. They only want to live right now. But the future is going to come whether they like it or not. And they know that. That's the problem. They know that, and they're fighting it. So, I'm going to ask two questions. They're related questions, and they're the most and least likely things to happen. There's a lot of room in between, and each person is capable of making, decisions. There's always things like if you intervene, but you'll understand that here in a minute. So the first question is, what happens if you stop? Aries, this question is legitimately what happens if you decide to just live in the moment, stop, just stop. Okay? And the next question is, what happens if you go all in, continue, let's say you get even more, I don't want to use the word aggressive because it sounds like you're controlling. Like that word just has that feel behind it, but it's the only one that comes to mind. Let's say that you continue to push this mentality onto them while they're in this state of mind. What happens if things continue as they are? So, if you lay off, nothing's going to stop you from having that feeling. All right? And they're going to know, even if you lay off, they're going to know that you still have that energy value. There's just no way around it. What is said has been said, what is done has been done. You have that energy whether you want to try to suppress it or not. The question is, if you suppress it enough where they're not feeling the immediate question, instead of saying, hey, let's do what we need to do, over and over again. Hey, let's go out to eat. Hey, let's go out to eat. Hey, let's go out to eat. And then you stop saying, hey, let's go out to eat. They know you're still hungry. Does that make sense? Like, they know you're still hungry, but you stopped asking. So that's this part of the question. Leading it off is that 10 of Wands. The burden is going to become on both of you. You're both going to feel that overwhelmed feeling because they may start feeling bad about not entertaining this. You will start feeling bad because you're denying yourself. But if you lay off of it, you then have the 4 of Wands, which is celebration, which is wedding. 4 of Wands is the union coming together. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is long-term abundance in the physical world. Pentacles represent the physical world. So think of it this way. Pentacles, more often than not, represent money, because money is one of the most important things in the physical world. You cannot do anything without it. But something even more important than that does exist. People tend to forget about it. It's us. We have flesh and blood. We exist in the physical world. We can physically interact with any physical object, including money. Could involve offspring as well. Could involve, building a family together has two healthy people in it. And then you have the King of Wands, which is power, authority, and loyalty. What this is saying is if you give them time to breathe, they'll come around. If you feel like you've been applying just a little too much pressure or something, give them time to let that pressure simmer off. You had the stove up all the way, the water's boiling, pull the lid off the pot. Let a little bit of the pressure out. You're gonna get that initial burst of steam in your face, all right? Man, I love how this turned into cooking. You're gonna get that steam in your face, but when that steam clears, you're gonna see that those pasta noodles are where they need to be. Now I've related a relationship to pasta noodles. How about that? Now, that was just one question. We can get a good outcome, Aries. Here is the opposite of that. What happens if things continue as is? Possibly even raising the temperature on that water even more. Like, go for it, go all in. What we have is strength. Strength is confidence in action. Strength is sharing your heart. This is you. This is you being the rock in this relationship. This is you taking the lead. This is you going all in. This is your strength, because you're going to go into it with confidence. You already have confidence in what you want, but that is going to expand even more, which leads to this 5 of Cups, which is grief and disappointment, because of Temperance. So Temperance is, trying to think of the best description for it. Temperance is balance and understanding. Temperance is getting that balance, is understanding their partner. Understanding, it's not forcing things, it's operating with a tempered hand. It's taking your time, seeking that balance. And then Queen of Pentacles, which is generosity and dependability in the physical world. What this is telling me, the extreme opposite outcome is more than likely what's going to happen if you go all in even more. You're going to strengthen their defensiveness. It's going to cause grief and disappointment. The grief and disappointment is going to be on your end. This is more so you than anything else. You have the strength. They're going to solidify their strength. They're going to solidify their mind around no. It's not saying that they're going to go anywhere, but what this is saying is you're not either. You're going to have that grief and disappointment because you did not get the outcome that you wanted. That's going to lead to temperance, understanding and balance. What they wanted, what this, turning that knob back down and the water's not boiling anymore, becomes the new status quo. And deep down, you're still going to have that desire. You still have that generosity in the physical world that you're pursuing, such as, a higher form of a relationship or a new form of family, a new phase in that. You're never going to not want that, and you may bring it up every once in a while. But for this particular desire, you going all in could shut that door for them, and they're not going to open it. You have the door partway open. They're on the other side trying to pull it shut, but you have it partway open. You have your foot in the door, all right? You are making progress. But if you just try to rip the door open, all that may happen is they might just pull it completely shut. Like right when you get it open, you think you're there, boom, they pull it shut and they lock it. Now, that's done. It's over, it's done. Whatever that was that you're really trying to push forward to, it ain't happening now. Could potentially happen years down the line, maybe. But they're conflicted. They're conflicted. I know it's weighing on you, Aries, because you know what you're doing is right. You know what you're doing is going to be best for the future. And it even says that. Like, I'm validating you, Aries. What you want will lead to that. But take a little bit of a play from this early on. Don't force. Maybe take a different approach. Ask them, what is your biggest fear? Corner them in that. Because if their wheelhouse is going right now, and they're in their own head, which does happen. It happens to all of us. It's happened to you before. I guarantee it. It happens to everybody. Where we get an idea in our head, and if we don't process it 100% correctly, we start creating scenarios around that idea. As a general, I know it's a meme, it's a joke, but the whole thing, your significant other comes home and or whoever the significant other is comes home and their partner's standing there. MapQuest says it's, or Google Maps, like MapQuest. Either way, Maps says that it takes 17 minutes to get home. It's been 25 minutes. What's that other person's name? It's a joke. It's funny, but it's easy to get that kind of thing in your head, especially if it's not just a one-time thing. If you've asked them more than once, think of it this way. For 4 weeks now, when this person gets off work, they get off work and they're getting home 30 minutes late. Yeah, the first time, they're just late, whatever. Second time, maybe it's just been a bad week. 3 weeks have gone by. You've not asked. 3 weeks have gone by. They've been late every day. You're thinking, oh my God, what are they doing? Oh my goodness, is there somebody else? Am I not doing a good enough job? Do they not care about me anymore? But in reality, there's just construction. I have to take a long way around. But you never addressed the problem. You never went and said, hey, has there been, or, hey, has it been a bad day at work? I noticed you've been late the past few days. Are you okay? Has it been stressful? Do you need me to go get you a coffee or, whatever? Be on their side. And that's when they would just tell you, yeah, the highway there, they're doing construction down it. I've had to take this other way every single day because every single day when I get on that highway, there's a wreck and I don't want to be 2 hours late. Oh, okay, problem solved. There you go. Make them address this problem. I know that was a long way around, talking about traffic and all that stuff, but I really want you to get the idea in your head that there can be a problem that is so simple, all right, that you may not see, that they may not even see, but if you make them address that problem, then they can wrap their mind around it. Ask them, what is the issue? Like, hey, I noticed you've been kind of hesitating about it. What are you afraid of? What is your biggest fear? Let's say we do it. What's your biggest fear of the outcome? Don't push them. Make them say, don't make them think that you're just trying to find an angle to get in the door more. Just try to make them think, why are they holding on to the handle? And it might be something so simple. It might be what I mentioned at the very beginning, where they're afraid that they're just going to be another number in the marriage count. They're afraid that you, with your friends later on, are going to be joking and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm on number 5. We've all met that person. And that may not be you, all right? This may be the one. This may be the only time you're even going to try. But if they've had a different history, they have to wrap their mind around it. And they have to live with the consequence of whatever this is too. Help them address that. Help them address it. Help them find their feminine energy. Help them to help themselves find that feminine energy. Let them work through this because they're the only one that can. They're the one that's actively fighting themselves on it. Help them to just confront their problem. There could be a real serious underlying problem that they're afraid to tell you about. What if you're wanting offspring and they have fertility issues that you don't know about and they're afraid because that makes them feel like they're less of, if it's female and they're the ones that's going to be carrying the child. What if this person has fertility issues? Or what if it's a man? Whatever it is. It's male, it's female, and they have fertility issues. They're afraid to say that because they feel like that's them being less of a person. You know what I mean? Does it make sense? Let's say this person's tried before in a previous relationship and, it was an absolute nightmare. There are so many possibilities. Help them corner it because they're not fighting themselves for no reason. There is a reason. Nobody fights themselves for no reason. There's always an underlying fear. You know what I mean? There's always an underlying issue. Help them find it. And don't try to help them through it unless they ask, because this is not something that they want shared. This is not something that they're voicing. Because if they were, you would already know. But when they voice it, be there for comfort. And if they ask you questions, that's when you jump right in. Does that make me feel like less of a person? No. You're actually more of a person now than you were before because you were strong enough to share that deep secret with me. Does it make sense, Aries? You are strong, you are smart, you know what you're doing. So make it work. But be smart about it. And understand, this is a living, breathing person with their own will and desire as well. Don't push them away because they're pushing themselves away. Just have your hand out. They will grab it. and you'll get that celebration. You'll get that union. All right? So with all that said, I do really appreciate you sticking through the video. It means a lot to me, Aries. It really does. Makes me feel like I'm not just wasting my time talking to nobody here. Really do thank you. I hope this does truly help you with this issue, and getting things working, getting things going, you know, stopping the wheels from screeching, you know. I really hope this helps you. And with that, have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you next time.